quarterback, Tom Brady had under 7 fantasy points. That's a season low against the Saints in that high-powered offense. But he still has a salary more than $7,000 this week. So chase or fade that you should pay up for TB12 against Carolina and bank on a bounce-back week, Geoff.
I mean, I'm kind of conflicted on this one. I do think he's going to have a bounce-back week. I do also think that you should probably fade Tom Brady at this price, and it's just because there's cheaper options with very, very similar upside. Jalen Hurts at 6,400 going up against the New York Giants. Joe Burrow at 5,900 going up against the Baltimore Ravens team we've rallied on already too much in this show. I think Brady is due for a bounce back, and simply for the fact that Antonio Brown is going to be out there. He's still got decent running backs, and Rob Gronkowski is certainly going to be able to take advantage of a Carolina defense that just doesn't stop anybody these days. So I don't mind the idea of like a contrarian Tampa Bay stack, but I do think there's more cost-effective strategies at quarterback. And like I said, Hurts and Burrow is where I would start looking.
Okay, Pearce, where are you going to look? I mean, you're going to pay up for TB12, and if not, you got someone else?
Yeah, I'll chase this. I think a lot of people aren't going to want to go there without the weapons and at the high price. But Carolina's defense, I mean, they're okay, but they've been put in poor positions all season. And you've got a really cheap stack here. Yeah, you got to pay up for Brady. You'll get low ownership. And you're going to have to pay up for Gronk. You're going to get low ownership. But then you can pair in a really cheap wide receiver. You can take one of these cheap running backs. Someone is going to run the ball in the goal line if we're predicting that Tampa is going to score points. So I think you're going to get a really low stack that has the upside. Is it risky? Yeah, I mean, Steve made a good point that Tom Brady without weapons didn't play very well with New England, but you're going to get angry Tom Brady narrative. I think he bounces back in this game.
Steve, bounce back week here from your ex.
I mean, you look at this as a bounce back spot. I mean, I think it's pretty simple to bounce back from a 6 DraftKings fantasy point performance. Is 10 a bounce back? If
12 would be. It would be 12. You have a double.
I mean, but to be honest, though, Pearce brought up a good point. Like, when you usually pair somebody with Tom Brady, you're getting somebody who's like 7K as a wide receiver. You pair Brady and Antonio Brown, you're like just under 13K total for these guys. Like, that's a pretty cheap stack. With that being said, I think Brady is like a tournament-only play for me just because of how high the salary is. He's not doesn't have his usual complement of weapons, so I'm not going for him mostly. I think Geoff said it perfectly. A lot of good guys to pay down for this week, so I think Brady's a good tournament play, but I'm not going out of my way to play him.